Hi, this is Alison Wonderland and you're watching DJBoothTV, and I've just been nerding out real hard. You know, it's so funny, like, I think they're two completely different things. Like, I think when people say DJ producer, it's terrible. I mean, like, not terrible, but like, I don't think you can compare the two. I was making music separately to DJing under a different name, the name White Fang. This is ages ago, if you want to look it up. It's WHYTE, new word, Fang. And I was just like, literally, that's how I learned how to produce. I had like no money to like buy synths or anything, so I'd record like pots and pans in my kitchen and like put a sub under it or something, like just do stupid shit and like try and make sounds. And that's where the voice memo thing came from, because like I didn't have a microphone, so I just like record vocals there. So I mean, like, that happened, but at the same time, like, I was DJing a lot when I was starting out, and it was like more of a musical outlet to, like, I grew up playing cello and playing bass guitar and stuff, and like I thought it was a really, like, when I found the decks, I thought it was a really cool way to express yourself and kind of like do something different. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be just like two decks where you play songs. Like, that can be an instrument, and especially, like, I love vinyl. Like, I started on vinyl, but you know, when I moved to CDJs, I saw you could do a lot. You know, if you were creative, you could like use the hot cues. Like, you know, I think it's really important with the jog wheel and like I like move BPMs, but I try and do it like really like subtly, so no one actually notices that. Another thing that's really like, sorry, I'm sounding like the biggest nerd right now. The other thing that like I love doing is crossing between genres, but not in a way where it's like completely jagged. Like, someone I really looked up to was DJ AM. His Elton mixes were like a really big thing for me, because, you know, it was the first time I listened to a DJ play a mix where it was intelligent. The tracks were very eclectic, but it never like shattered you when he changed tracks, and like it was smooth and it took you on a journey without like flexing, you know, like over scratching and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, like, he was a big influence to me in terms of that. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, when I started out, like, there weren't that many like girls around, so I got real competitive with the boys at this club, like when I was playing at like 4 a.m. and they kind of like stand over and laugh, and so like I went home and I was like, well, you know what, fuck you, like I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna practice and I'm gonna come back with a trick next week. And like, yeah, that's kind of, I think, how I got better at DJing, was kind of trying to show up the boys. And yeah, with producing, that was never to like do anything. It was just like cheap therapy for me, and I did it because I loved it and it made me happy, and it was just like a creative outlet for me, you know, while I was living in a tiny little apartment, DJing at 4 a.m. So that's like kind of weird, they both kind of happened at the same time. It was never my intention. I just didn't think anyone would like give a fuck, so I just did it for myself, really. Yeah.
You were like a turntablist at one point?
Yeah, but like, I mean, very early on, and then like pretty like soon after that, like I wouldn't say I was a turntablist. Like I mean, like, I was a nerd about it, but I wasn't like great. I wasn't great. I'll admit that. And then like very early on, I switched to CDJs, but I like still play in vinyl mode and I still like scratch, but just like on CDJs, which is like actually quite difficult to make it sound not like super digi. But yeah, like I play at plus 16, if that makes any sense to anyone. So like I have like a really big BPM range to jump, but like I do it in a way where I try and make sure that people aren't like noticing that I'm, you know, moving from tempo to tempo. Yeah, like I've just always been like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's my ADD, maybe I get bored. Maybe I just like lots of different genres and BPMs. But yeah, I don't know if that answered anything. Yeah.
Yo, what's poppin'? Kendrick Lamar right here outside the booth. DJBoothTV.
DJBooth.net. You watching outside the booth TV.